And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Vinnie Brigance. There we go. I love it. Now, Vinnie, I met you at a conference, and you're a really cool guy. You do really great. So, and I know a lot of your fans. You know, people always go, "Oh, Vinnie, yeah, he's such a great guy." So, please, Vinnie, tell everybody what you do.
Yeah, so I run something called the Organic Hypnosis Training Center, and I teach hypnotists how to work in a way that's 100% client-led. And it's kind of a different angle. We just use the experience of the client as the gateway into trance, and then we use trance as the gateway to learning, and we just kind of connect the whole journey with the person. It's a neat thing, and so that's a blast. I love teaching this stuff.
Yeah, and
right on.
And I mean, when you do at a conference, you have somebody come up and you actually again showcase it, because that's what I like to do. But tell us more about that. What happens in that experience?
I just figure if this stuff works, it's going to work, and I would rather. There's a lot I'm trying to do with that. So let's say I'm doing a demo and it goes horrible. Then what I want to show hypnotists is that I'm okay, right? It didn't kill me. It's going to be all right. Like tomorrow's another day, just egg on the face, we move on. But I like to get through as many demos as possible because I feel like that's where the real learning is. It's in that experience and demonstration. Okay, 1 second.
That's all right. Don't matter.
There we go. Okay. See, I like to do everything live, apparently.
Yeah.
But I feel like anytime I push myself like that, I learn a lot. And I think it's about organic hypnosis is just trying to evolve constantly. And it's that pressure cooker environment where that happens, the real insights, the real learning. So when things go wrong, I consider those opportunities to evolve, right? It's called OTEs in our program. That is just another opportunity to learn about it. And did I do too much pressure on myself? What happened here? So that's kind of the thinking behind it. And then, in a few minutes, people have these profound insights, profound experiences. I think you did come to the one where the lady had the past life regression and that one.
And it's what I love about it, you're right, is that it's to show other hypnotists who are just new on their journey that it's okay if something doesn't go quite according to plan, because we're with people and people are people and they're going to have their own experience. And what did we learn? So what did we, and it's more sometimes about what did we learn when somebody doesn't say something than when they do. So does that mean they're not ready for change? Right. Does it mean, what else does it mean? And this is where it's like, as you say, it's like, well, what did we learn? What did we collectively learn? And that's brilliant. And I have somebody just come on.
I love that.
Yeah. Had you, Vinnie? You were my victim.
Right.
And again, it's so true. It's when they're in that space. So again, and you've been doing this for how long with this?
I started. I opened my clinic January 9th, 2020. About a year later, roughly, I started working in this type of an approach, though. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I just had some challenges. If you want, maybe I'll tell a brief little anecdote. I think it's
yeah. So, platform. Yep.
I had this nurse. I think she was like a CNA, and she had to save up money for 3 months to see me. And I went in and I thought I just nailed this session. And I get a message from her the next day. And she's like, Vinnie, I'm really struggling right now. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. Right. Like, and it's not always like that. Right. I have these success rates using traditional approaches about normal with that. So I get on the phone with her and I figured, well, none of that worked. All right. So I just said, hey, so what's going on? And she said, well, Vinnie, I want to quit smoking, but my daughter said this thing about me on social media and I feel terrible. And so we started kind of I just kind of went into that with her, right? That was her experience. And it's completely possible that that same thing could happen. And she could, in her mind, go, well, she's just a kid. She's silly. She doesn't realize how much I love her. If she did, she would never do this to me, right? She could have had that orientation to it. Maybe it's an opportunity to express that, whatever it might be. But we started going into it. And we didn't talk about cigarettes one time, Claudia. Not once. It was just everything else in her life that was going wrong. And it did about 25 minutes roughly. I really just backed off, gave her space, which is something you do masterfully. And I really just sort of let her experience what was going on. And then she quit smoking. And then she started running marathons for a children's hospital. She raises money for them. So the thing that was killing her became that shift where now she can go help kids in need. And I think that's just a great thing to do. So
it gave her the energy.
Right. And so that was the moment when I said, something's going on here that I don't quite understand yet. And I started exploring that. And I found other folks that work in a more indirect way. I started getting curious. Like a little bit ago, we were talking about Richard Hill, and he's got that really cool mirroring hands process. And I think as awesome as that is, and it's fantastic, I'm more intrigued by the way he navigates the session, how he sets things up, the way he really listens to people. You do this incredible with the bunny. I'm just talking your ear off here. But when I watch you do the bunny talk process, it's like you have them doing different things. I can see them moving in and out of trance, different levels of association. They're communicating through art. They're communicating with you directly. So you're getting all this information. I think that's so cool. And then the way you use that in a client-led manner, it's no wonder it changes people's lives. It really helped me when I was in Vegas. I was really struggling with some stuff. So, I didn't cry once. So, I was like, oh no, like this has been embarrassing, but I didn't care.
No, and I don't think anybody does care. It's actually better, isn't it, when somebody has an ab reaction? So when you're holding space for people, do they do that too? You see them ab react. That's the word.
Oh yeah.
Which, to anybody watching this, an ab reaction is when they may suddenly literally start to shake or sort of like just go or make funny faces or twitch, or it's like or cry and cry. I've actually had somebody be sick before.
Oh yeah, vomiting. Yeah, I've seen this. It's wild. It is wild. Yeah, I think the takeaway for hypnotists there, I got to demo this a little bit at HypnoThoughts. I just am unmoved, and I don't mean this in a way that isn't compassionate, but I just assume whatever they're experiencing is probably pretty important, and I don't want to judge it right off the bat. And this is something that probably needs to come up, right? With the throwing up, something that needs to come up. It's a metaphor.
Literally need it to come out.
Yeah. Right. So we got, exactly. So I just kind of figure I'm going to use it essentially. And I think I do like to demo how almost like stoic I am though, but I internally just am so used to seeing people go into crazy, wild experiences like that. It just doesn't mean anything to me. Right? It's like, hey, it's Tuesday. It's kind of like that, right?
Yes, and I'm the same. So and I know there are some people who, if somebody is like crying, they think, oh, I better stop it now. No, because then you're suppressing it again. You're putting it back in its little box.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, let it be. Let them have the release. And it does take, I suppose, time to get comfortable with that. Which and I was talking to somebody about this. It's like saying, that's why I am not an empath. I'm empathetic and I'm compassionate, but I don't suck that in and it be my stuff, because it's not. So we have to, that's what I mean. I wear stuff like this to protect myself and give myself a barrier. So is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Vinnie? But like, it could just be Tuesday. You're giving it a it's like it's their experience. It's not yours, and you're just going to sit with them in it.
Yeah, I think because when I start working with clients, it's always at that point of what's really going on, and because I'm starting there, right? I'm starting kind of. I guess a better way to say this is a lot of times I would be working with people and using maybe a lot of techniques and things of that nature. And then the moment I would back off is the moment something really amazing would happen, or the moment I would kind of quiet down, I'd start to see this neat phenomena just show up. And sometimes it was not pleasant though. I remember asking a girl, what happens when you think about never smoking again? And she had a full-blown ab reaction. It went back to things happened to her that should never happen to any child, right? It was just horrible. And I was like, oh, I thought this was a stop smoking session, right? It's not. It's going to be something else entirely.
No, the issue is never the issue, is it?
Yeah. And so just, you know, I think I didn't always have that composure. It's something I developed through time on task, seeing clients. At first it's like, oh, this is scary. What? What am I doing? And then but it was a brilliant thing. I literally just sat there with her.
Yeah.
And the work was 98% done. I mean, I can't really put a number on it, but it felt like the majority of the work's done here. And we were kind of just hanging out after that and sort of reflecting on how wild of an experience that was. And she never smoked again. It's that type of thing. So but the depth that stuff coming up, I think, is kind of good in a way. Now I'm like, all right, sweet. We get to do the real work now. Let's see what this is.
So it's quite interesting. So as somebody who wants to help people stop smoking, you know, they've always got to be aware that actually there will be other stuff coming up, and for clients coming to us to stop smoking or vaping or, you know, a sugar habit or whatever it is, there's always something else. It's like picking, you know, it's around criticism, you know. Because you are literally picking at yourself. You've heard somebody else criticize you. Now you are also picking at yourself.
Yeah, that's a powerful point, Claudia. There's so much going on underneath the hood, if you will. And I do think folks that work in a more traditional way, they might not get as much of that stuff, but I don't think that's the case. Because even when I used more of like a 6-step reframe approach and kind of did that, using a lot of like technical terms here, but I think your audience is the hypnotist, so they know a lot of this lingo.
Well, they do, but there is actually a lot of other.
Okay, cool. Okay, I just want to be mindful about how
normal people.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not normal.
Yeah, for now. Wait till they join. Look at the world completely differently. No, it's you're right though. I was probably a bit pedantic to say that. Just you're right. At the end of the day, it comes down to you got to be prepared. And what I taught at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference was sort of this multidimensional approach to self-hypnosis. And the idea was helping the hypnotist sort of experience the internals I have when I'm working with a client, where I'm very still and I'm just kind of exploring. And I really ground the approach more in learning versus I'm going to help you quit smoking. I just kind of want to learn what's going on. And as that client really discovers what's going on inside themselves, a lot of times they go, well, this isn't helping me at all. What the heck was I thinking? This is not helping me not be stressed out. This thing's a major cause of stress in my life. And they're reaching the conclusion versus me kind of saying it to them. So it's more that type of an approach. Oof, I'm all over the place today. Is that coherent?
And that's okay.
Yeah, I pivoted like 4 times.
You're saying that somebody is literally, you know, they're very still in their experience when you're doing self-hypnosis. Yeah. And when you guiding somebody to do that, how long was your self-hypnosis session?
So we did, it was an hour class. I spent probably 20, 30 minutes helping people sort of react to different, like a scenario I painted for them of early humans coming together, sitting around a campfire and really listening to one another.
Okay. Yeah.
And listening fully, not just to what they say, but everything they're expressing. And then we're exploring and we're becoming aware and we're discovering different things together. And then there's that beautiful space of the warm campfire, right? So then I have them imagine being the campfire and I have them imagine being the different people and kind of switching reference frames during that experience. But then the actual self-hypnosis is really simple. Scan your body, notice what you feel, sit with that, don't judge it, experience it fully, come back. 20, 30, 40 seconds at a time, we went in and out and people were having these pretty wild insights. Some of it barely made sense to me because I'm not inside their mind. Well, I just wanted to create the environment for them to navigate their internal landscape a little faster.
I really like that. So that reminds me of that book about like the 6 hats. So you've got them sitting there with their different, I'll send it to you afterwards. I've got the book upstairs. Cool. But it's, so if they're sitting around the campfire and then they've got an issue, but then they're looking at it from 6 different points of view. That's
pretty cool. Wow. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Well, I thought that's so it's like I could just imagine that being really helpful. Like I can only see it from an emotional point of view. I can only see it from the how it would affect somebody else's point of view.
Right.
And then it's like, or any member of their family. How would my husband react to this? How would the or your children or your parents on a particular issue? And then you're actually really getting into other people's shoes and really taking it on board. But you going into that deeper layer instead of you bringing in your conscious mind, you're really going into the real feelings and the emotions and the creativity of it all. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great point. And then I kind of talked about it being multidimensional. So there's this dimension, our inner reality, the external reality, the person in front of us, the client. And that's probably the moment that helps shape the foundations of our society, though, too. Really just people actually sitting down and connecting and saying, hey, you know what? I noticed the weather patterns are shifting, or maybe we're starting to coordinate. Hey, Claudia, I'll go pick berries over here. You go pick berries over there. Let's pay attention to the landscape, come back and share. Right. So this is really where we start to forge a society in those moments. So, and as clients live in a society, right? So I sort of like this sort of way of thinking multidimensional when we're working with people, because I feel like it helps create longer term results. Because anybody can quit smoking with me in a session right in front of me. What I care about is when they leave. I want to know how they're doing outside of the office, right? How are they navigating challenges now, having had this powerful experience? Are they continuing to learn and grow and utilizing those opportunities to evolve? Or are these major setbacks? And it's like, I'm still out there smoking, or maybe they found some other coping mechanism that isn't healthy. That's not what I'm after.
Yeah. So how are they filling the void?
How
are they filling what they used to do? Is that, is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's right. Filling the void, or depending on what it is. But a lot of times there is something when there is a vacuum when you delete something from someone's life, as you put there. That's a very good point. So ultimately, do they have the resources they need to find a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah.
I could do it more direct. Say, hey, go work out, start going to the gym, but I don't know what their mind needs.
I think they've got to come up with it.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's really important. Then it's much more powerful. You could, I mean, you in the, you know, when you're just speaking to them, you can go, oh, well, so and so did this, is how they did it, not
right.
correctly. So I had a client who started doing this, this, and this. This is what happened to them. And now we're going to go into hypnosis. And I wonder what you can come up with. You know, it's that sort of thing. So tell me the story first.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I love the work that we're able to do and that what we get to do to help people create change. You know, and it's so is that primarily what people mostly come to you for, and then it seems to be about everything else?
Yeah, that's the presenting problem. That's all my marketing's built around smoking cessation, and that you know, did I ever share my story with you about that? About why I got into this?
Go for it.
Yeah. So I actually got into this type of work because my mom passed away from smoking related causes. She never got to meet my son. She's 53, a little over 53 and a half years old. And this was after long-term acute care, months in a hospital, tubes down her throat, hospital nurses her back to health. And she gets home 6 months later, she's passed away. She's dead. And it's because she went back to smoking. I had no idea. And my father was a 4-pack-a-day smoker, saw what she went through, as Freddie Jocelyn would say, binned him, right? Threw him away and just quit. And so I find that, so something about that really messed with me. And eventually I decided to do something about it. And then I created this mission to help 1,000 people quit smoking. In 17 months, I'll accomplish that. And that's going to generate $76 million in savings over the next 30 years. And then the next aim is to train 1,000 hypnotists. They help 1,000 people quit smoking each. That's 1 million people. That's $76 trillion, which sounds like a made up number. I don't even know how that's like a thing. It's like my little kid saying kabillion, kajillion, manillion when they start making up numbers. That's what it sounds like to me. But that's the goal on the second half of this here. So I started teaching a little bit ago because I needed to get good at it. Turns out that's a whole skill set I didn't realize I didn't have. So we're getting a lot better now.
Well, yeah, and it is, you know, it's a skill set. It's and funnily enough, with training, that's how you know, because I've just started training, as you know, with the bunny talk process.
I love it.
But actually, I realized I used to, all my skills that I had before becoming a hypnotist, now training what I'm training, because I used to coach. I used to coach even as a youngster, I used to coach lacrosse. And then as a younger mother, I used to train coach netball, which is like basketball.
Yeah.
And so actually that's kind of getting people's attention and organizing and all these skills actually that people don't realize they have as mothers or when you're in the corporate world or whatever you've been doing, they all come in handy when you're doing something else. You never lose the skills. Everything you're doing in life right now is important. You might not think it is, however, it will come in at some point. It will make a difference.
That's a good, I'm glad you said that. I noticed too from sports and being in different leadership roles, running teams of people back in the day in a former life, like it's there. And the big thing for me is like, okay, they're really not getting this one thing. Let's get them 1% better today, right here. Like this is we've got to nail, this is the most important piece. And it's like being able to sort of adapt to their needs. And I'm, if I'm honest with you, I'm really enjoying teaching. I had zero interest in doing it. And I was like, I'm going to hit the goal. And I had a lot of people asking me to help them with smoking cessation. So I figured, okay, let's put together something. And here we are. Now I get to meet all you cool people at conferences. It's a blast.
I know.
Me, primarily, I think I'm a practitioner first, though. And I don't think I'll stop seeing clients ever. That'll probably continue to be a big part of my life. That's where I learned the most, too. It's in real time.
Oh, I think it's important to still keep your hand in because, again, because our clients are evolving.
That's right.
You know, they're younger. It's like, oh, this is a new thing, and if you're going to have to then be able to understand that in order to teach it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, to me, it makes sense. So, yeah. So this has been wonderful. We've gone over time now, so we'll have to finish. Otherwise, we'll bore everybody. How can we be boring, Vinnie? We can possibly be. But everybody, thank you for watching. And it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard.
And goodbye from me, everybody. Bunnies.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's my thing.
Make sure you check out our training, folks. It's absolutely fantastic. I had an incredible experience with it, and you're going to learn a ton. Not just the process, but watch the way she navigates it. It's brilliant stuff. So I can't endorse it enough, folks.
Oh, thank you, Vinnie. And Vinnie, we'll get all of your links in the
right on.
They'll be for everybody to get in touch with you. So take care, everybody. Bye.